Good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Thought I'd give a brief overview of how the Boom Asset Management software works. So when you first log into the system, you have a dashboard where you can see your customers, your follow-ups and invoices. We then have a dashboard, CRM, quotes, orders, invoicing, system survey, notifications, settings, and log out. For this demo today, I'm just going to go through the CRM briefly and then going into the survey system, which is our fire system that we have for facility. So under CRM, you can go into CRM, you can view all your companies, and we'll select this ABC company for our demo today. So as I select ABC company, I can see the name of the company, their address. I can see all their sites by clicking view sites. So I can see their London address, Manchester, High Wycombe, etc. So I click on London, it'll show me their address and their details and give me an update of what's going on. I can type any notes about the company, and then I've got the username and password for their login, which is for ABC Company to log in and see the data, and I'll explain more about this later. I can then see things like quotes, orders, and other information, all within the CRM system. So let's now take you into the survey system. So quotes is obviously quotes, orders is orders, invoice. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's a lot of information behind these as well. So the survey system, so we're going to create a survey. And in the survey system, we're going to say which type of survey we're going to do. So we can do fire door maintenance, and we're going to select the company ABC Company Limited. In the sites, we do the drop-down list, and we can see which site is associated to that particular company. If I selected a different company, you'll see I'll have a different drop-down list for the sites. So I'm going to select ABC Company, I'm going to select the London branch, and I'm going to assign it to me, Russ, the engineer. I can then also assign it to other engineers if I want to, or I can just leave it to the one. I select the project manager, put the appointment date for when I'm going to go there. So say we're going to go there tomorrow, the 18th, and I type in 0900 of when we're going to arrive on site. I click create, and that's it. That now sends it straight to the app for the engineer, Russ, so he can actually see exactly what's going on. Let's do another one just for example. So a fire compartmentation survey. I select the company again, ABC. I can then select the London address, select the engineer, Russ, project manager. We'll do that again for tomorrow, and then I'm going to say 0930. Hit create. That is how quickly it is to create the surveys and see what it is. And if I want to see the survey lists for today or tomorrow, I click tomorrow, and there you are. You can see that they are pending, assigned to tablets, and we're waiting for the engineer to do it. So now I'm going to show you what's on the app. So let me just flick to that, and then we'll come back to the screen very shortly once we've updated it from the app itself. Speak to you in a second. So here we are in the Boom Asset Management Survey System, and as you can see, these are the two which we just created earlier, so FTC 31 and FTC 32. So we now can see it's the London address that we're going to. Obviously these are both the same for tomorrow for 9 o'clock and 9:30. And just to show you a couple of extra features that we've developed in this system is we've got the top left hand corner. See that little icon? If I click that in the top left hand corner, that now shows me the exact location of where I am. And then if I zoom out, I can then also see the location of where I need to go on site. So you can see the location of where I've got to go to is the London Eye, and I can then click on it and obviously select it. If I have multiple in my list, you would see all these different arrows where I could then route automatically from the app, and it'll route me to the closest locations first, or whichever way I want to do it. And I can select as the engineer which ones I want to do first, in case there's bad traffic, and then it'll update it automatically in my listings. So whereas this listing is done by times, by 9 o'clock, 9:30, I could do it by the routing order of it, so you can get to it that way, which is quicker and faster. So let's start with the top one. So this is fire door maintenance, and show you how this works. So as I go into it, I'm going to select the add door feature, and it's going to ask me for the asset number. So I can click here and I type it in myself, or you see the button that I see QR code. I can press that QR code button, hit the scan QR code. As you can see, I'm on a door. I scroll up to the QR code, and bang, it puts in the QR code with the asset number straight into it for me. I can then type in the location. So I just type in door home, for example. And then this stuff I'm sure you guys are quite used to, what the fire rating of it is, any test evidence available, engineer's notes. So I can just type in here, for example, test. And then we take a photo of the actual door itself. So there's a picture of the door. I'm doing this all in real time. So I take the door, save it, and then I press save in the top right hand corner, that creates my record. So as you can see now, there's the AMS number, the door home, and it's got a green tick. I then go into the door, and then here's all the self-checks that I've got to do. So I've got over 20, 25 different checks that I'm doing. As I tick these boxes, it's automatically updating directly into the database, and I'll show you that when we go back to the control panel shortly. If we need to replace the door, I tick that box that says replace door, as you can see there. I can then see pictures of the doors of what I want to replace. So I now then scroll through, depending on which ones I want to do. I then select the particular door, and then I can add images to it. So I can say, right, I want to use this image here, because ultimately the more images we have for the manufacturers, it's better for them. So we can add multiple images, and also we're going to add a video as well. I then click next. I can then choose door colors. I can select fire ratings. And what this data is doing is this will actually send directly to the outdoor manufacturer that we've selected already. And these guys, this is the sort of questions and answers that they're asking for all the items that they're looking for. And it makes life a lot easier, because it means we're basically saying to them, this is the size of the doors, and we want to basically, I know I'm doing crazy size doors here, right? So don't worry about that. But the idea is just giving you a quick demo of how it actually works. Oh, excuse me. So that's how it works. And then I press the save button. As I press save, it's asking you just to confirm the length and the width. Click yes, and then that's the door that's going to be replaced, and you'll see that back in the app shortly. Same with if I want to do fire compartmentation survey, I then click add risk, and I've got the same thing again. I put an asset number in, any particular number I want to put in here. I can put the location, I can put the aperture, I can put the intended fire resistance period, so an FT30. I can put in there fire rated risks. I can then put the description of the risks, and this can be a big drop down list. You can customize all this yourselves, and the description of the remedial work that you need to do, for example. So all the different things that you need to be able to do to fix that particular risk. You can then put some notes in there. You can also add images, etc., etc. So there's a lot of things you can do within it. If you can't access that particular area, you can also click no access, and then it shortens it all and asks you just for the questions when you've got no access to it at all. So hopefully that gives you a little idea of our mobile app. And then once you come back to the main surveys, once you've completed those surveys, you click on the actual yellow or green icons itself, and it'll say, do you want to mark this survey installation as complete? Yes, it is. And that one's complete as well. So I now pull down refresh, and I have no more surveys left in my app. Let's see how they look back in the control panel now. So welcome back. We're now back into the survey system. So the engineer's now done the jobs. So let's have a look to see where they look like in the control panel. So I go to survey lists. Obviously these were for tomorrow. And as you can see now, the statuses have now changed to survey install complete for the FTC 31 and FTC 32. So let's do a deep dive on the FTC 31. So as we click on it, it then gives me more details in regards to what's happened with it. So we can see the appointment was at 9 o'clock. We see Russ has done it, and we can see it's been completed. We can also see the door has, there's some doors. There's only one on this particular survey, but AMS 0005, door home, and we can see it needs to be replaced. Was it acceptable? No, and we can get more information from it. If I look at the report on that particular one, this is where we were ticking those boxes for yes, no, and passes, if you remember, before we decided we needed to replace the door. But as you can see, if I ticked failed on any of these, we could have put images on there, and this is where the information would have come back to. But because we said it was needs to be replaced, I can then click on details, click on replace door settings, and you can see the door that we've replaced here with all the data that we did within the app. It's automatically been uploaded. And also we can see the images of the doors or any videos that have been updated as well. So it's a very powerful and sophisticated system in regards to capturing all that data directly back. So we go back now to the door survey. We've then got costs in here and charges. So if you want to use this part of the system, you can put a description in, put it if it needs to be quoted first or if it's straight to invoice, and what your charges are as well, and whether you want to quote it or invoice. And then you can build out what your costs and your profit are on a per asset basis for what needs to be fixed on this particular door. And then obviously you've got more and more information in regards to what you can showcase for all your doors and all your assets in regards to it. It'll show you one big list for that particular survey and give you a profitability based on that survey. That was for the doors, and if we're replacing doors, we've then got an order doors button, which is an API which we send directly down to the manufacturer. So if I select this particular customer, I go back a few months just to get a bit of data in here. I select today's date, so that's when we're going to select it from and to. So we can see for this particular customer, all the survey types, for all the doors that need to be replaced, I can now see a long list of them here. So I can see the site location, the survey ID, the door type, what we need to order. So we would select multiple selects which ones we want to order. We can press the button that says send to supply, and bang, that'll go straight off to the supplier directly. To see outstanding orders, I can click view orders, and here we have an FTC order of one has 4 doors on it, and that was placed on the 20th of June, and then you can send that link directly down to the manufacturer. So hopefully that gives you a little insight into our control panel. We've got a lot more information within here, like calendars, reports, etc., but I haven't got enough time to obviously do that in this quick demo. But one thing I did want to showcase to you was the customer portal. So now this is the customer view, i.e. now I was the fire test company. This was ABC Company Limited. So this is ABC Company Limited logging into their own portal, seeing how many visits they've done this year or this month, how many doors have been checked over, and how many risks. And then they can see their site. So this is their London, Manchester, High Wycombe, if you remember. So if I just selected London, filtered by dates, or I can leave it empty, and that will show the data just for that particular one site. Or I can go back to all sites. So they can then download the reports based on what surveys have been completed. They can look up asset number directly. So if they've got an asset number that they want to look up, they can do themselves, and they can see when it was last checked, last viewed, what the engineer's notes, and any photos associated with that asset number. And they can also report a fire issue. So if they say at that London address, we've got a door issue, maybe it's broken, maybe someone's smacked it by mistake or whatever's happened, they can type in what the problem is with the door. They can upload some images to showcase what the type of problem is with the door. Is it urgent? And press submit. That will then go into our calendar system, when the admin team will then get notified in the control panel, and that will allow them to then book that for a survey. And we've got documentation, so you can put all your signed agreements, etc., for your customer, so they can see this all online in the portal as well. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight into the system. And there's one last area I want to showcase to you, so bear with me. I'm just going to go to that now. And the last part of our system is just to showcase that we've got these cards that the engineer can actually leave directly with the end customer. So say like they're knocking on the door and they want to check some risks inside that building and they're unavailable, they can leave this card directly with the customer and post it through. They put the reference number of what the asset would have been. So for example, 005, and then the customer or the end user can actually call this number here. So the 0207 number, 101 1110, and that is an automated 24/7 service where they punch in the reference number, which is the asset number, and they punch in the actual postcode of the location. So for example, if I go to here, this is the postcode SE17 1PB. They would put in 17 in the code. So you're more than welcome to test this out and see how the system works. But it's a very clever automated system which allows the end customer to rebook in with you, the operationals team, into the admin system. Hope that helps, and we look forward to hearing from you in regards to whether this system would be useful for yourselves. Thanks very much. Bye-bye now.